Okay, all right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Santa Clara University's Multicultural Engineering and STEM Dinner. Thank you all for being here, and I hope that this can be a place for you to celebrate and just show you that you are part of a community with others similar to you, so you are not alone. My name is Priya Jain. I am involved in a few clubs in the School of Engineering. I'm a part of Society of Women Engineers, Association of Computing Missionary Women's Chapter, Women in STEM, and the Ideas Coalition. So we would like to start off with some opening statements from some of these student organizations. First, I would like to welcome the National Society of Black Engineers, Representative Shanelle Smith.
Hi everyone, my name is Shanelle Smith and I'm a senior civil engineering major here at Santa Clara. Other than being in NSBE, I'm also an engineering tour guide, and so I'm pretty involved in the School of Engineering. As a Black woman in engineering, having spaces where I'm represented and seen and acknowledged is essential for me to not only continue pursuing civil engineering while I'm in college, but also after I graduate. And so definitely grateful for everyone for coming and participating. I'm also the president of the National Society of Black Engineers chapter here at Santa Clara University. And our organization is committed to increasing the number of culturally responsible Black engineers who excel academically, succeed professionally, and positively impact the community. And so we hold various events throughout the school year and the quarter. We hold like professional development events and social events to create community amongst our students here on campus. We have general meetings on Mondays of even weeks at 7:15 p.m. in HEFE 125. It's open to anyone. You don't have to be Black. You don't have to be engineering. It's definitely a very open and welcome community, so feel free to come. And yeah, thank you for coming to this dinner.
Thank you, Shanelle. Next, I would like to introduce the speaker from Society of Women Engineers, Zena Fasheh.
Hi everyone, so if you don't know me, my name is Zena Fasheh and I'm a senior here at Santa Clara University studying bioengineering, and I've been on the board of SHPE, which is Society of Women Engineers acronym, for the past 3.5 years. And throughout my time here at SCU, I have absolutely loved seeing the smiles that SHPE's events have put on people's faces, whether I was seeing them virtually in the past or in person now. But not only did SHPE events make people smile, but they also brought the SCU community together. And before I joined SHPE and attended any SHPE events, before I came to SCU, I didn't know any other female engineers. My dad's an engineer, his brother's an engineer, and my mom's brother's an engineer, but I had no female mentor to look up to, and that all changed when I joined SHPE. So through SHPE, I was able to find a community of women engineers to help guide me through my college career and always push me to do my best. And we try to bring this community outside SCU also through SHPE++, our program that teaches middle school girls how to code. And we want to show these girls that it's possible to follow your passion, and we want to be living examples of that. So we want to be their mentors and peers that they can look to for advice and guidance, and that's essentially SHPE's goal in everything that we do. And through events such as these, we can celebrate everyone who chose to pursue their future in STEM here at SCU. And so I want to say a special thank you to Ricky, to Shane, to everyone at SCU who helped make tonight happen. And I want to thank everyone for coming to this dinner. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Zena. Next, I would like to introduce a speaker from Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, Jaylinn Solis.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Jaylinn Solis. Apart from being involved in SHPE, I am also part of Ballet Folklorico, LSU, and among other stuff. So I am one of the co-presidents for SHPE SEU, and our organization is focused in trying to empower Hispanics in STEM and engineering by bringing together heritage, social responsibility, and the desire to improve the equality for all people through the use of science and technology. A few of our events hosted are centered around academic, professional, and social development. And as a Latina woman in STEM, I feel that it's important to acknowledge and celebrate ourselves because, like we mentioned, we are our ancestors' wildest dreams. And our experiences are unique, and being able to recognize this is an important part of creating a safe space and welcoming space for diversity. If you guys would all like to join us for our SHPE meetings, we usually meet Mondays in HEFE 129 from 7:30 to 8:30. Everyone is welcome, and thank you all so much for being here, and I hope we can have more events like this in the future.
Thank you, Jaylinn. Next, I would like to welcome Dr. Joanna Thompson, who is the president of the Office of Multicultural Learning. Wait, are you the vice president? Are you the? Oh, the director. Okay, sorry. You deserve that title.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Joanna Thompson, the director of the Office for Multicultural Learning, which also includes the Rainbow Resource Center. My pronouns are she, her, hers, or they, them, theirs, and super excited to be here with you all and just to be able to celebrate you and the identities that you hold. If you're not familiar with the Office for Multicultural Learning and the Rainbow Resource Center, we are here to support all of our students, staff, and faculty, but particularly our BIPOC and LGBTQ+ students, staff, and faculty. Consider us a home for you to be able to explore your identities, to be able to have difficult dialogues, as we say in the House of OML and RRC, and simply just be with your people and find community. We are open to everyone. You don't have to be BIPOC or LGBTQ+. We truly are there for our allies as well, because we all need each other in this work of social justice, diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'm also joined this evening by our Associate Director of our office, Bernell Neville, he, him, his pronouns, so he's there if you want to say hey. In addition to our professional staff, which also includes Pauline Nguyen, who's our office manager, we also have 10 amazing student inclusion educators who work for our office, who are a variety of identities and here to also support you as well. We would love to see you, so if you have never been to the Office for Multicultural Learning, we're located in a little house behind Swig Residence Hall, 832 Market Street. We are usually, that house you can tell, like you know that OML is that house on the block. And then the Rainbow Resource Center is located in the lower level of Benson, room 11. Can't miss it, all the rainbows, all the love and warmth. But again, please consider us a space to be able to find community, build community, and know that you belong here. And we appreciate all of you in the School of Engineering for having us, and we look forward to more dinners like this. Thanks.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Okay, please hold. In the meantime, does anyone have any jokes? Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so my name is Priya. I am a third year majoring in web design and engineering. I am the co-outreach chair for Society of Women Engineers. I am the outreach coordinator for Association of Computing Machinery Women's Chapter. I'm the club liaison for Women in STEM. And I'm actually also a community facilitator in Sobrano Hall, so I have a lot on my plate. Ricky, what else do I say? Okay. Yeah, so dinner is actually ready, and we will get started with the alumni panel at 6:30, so please stay tuned for that. But enjoy the dinner. Okay, so we are going to get started with the alumni panel. So. All right, so we're going to get started with the alumni panel portion of the program. All right, so I would like to introduce each of the alumni and ask them to come up to the stage. First, Dominic. Yeah. And please take a seat. Next, Axel. And then I'd like to invite Cesar. Okay. All right. Please give them a round of applause. All right. So why don't you all go around and introduce yourselves, give us your major, grad year, and your full name, please. So name, major, and grad year.
Okay. My name is Dominic. Is it on? Can you hear me?
Testing. Okay.
All right. My name is Dominic. Did it? Hold it up closer. I'm like, it's like, I don't want to kiss the mic.
Wait.
Hello.
You can- Wait, this isn't working either. So wait. What the heck? Testing. Okay, yeah, all right. Now that's
Okay, cool, awesome. Anyway, my name's Dominic. I graduated here in 2019, my undergrad from 2019, with my degree in computer science and engineering.
Hey everybody, my name is Axel Perez. I graduated from Santa Clara in 2019, computer engineering, and I also stayed here for my master's and also did that in computer engineering.
Hello, I'm Cesar Telum, class of 2019, studied computer science and engineering as well.
all right. So the first question I'd like to ask you guys is, what made you decide to major in engineering, and how did you end up at Santa Clara?
Okay, I'll go first. Let's see. For me, I guess my experience is a little different compared to most students because I started college as an adult learner. I had already worked other jobs like in retail and in QA and stuff like that, and I decided I wanted to take a major pivot in my life because I was hitting a glass ceiling without having a degree in anything. So I went to community college, studied computer science there. Had a lot of anxiety over, I didn't really know how I was going to do, but ended up doing pretty well, and was looking into schools to transfer to, and Santa Clara accepted me, which is great, so I ended up transferring here, computer science and engineering, and for me, just going into computer science was more of like knowing that the field was in demand and was going to continue being in demand, and also I think it was a good kind of way for me to apply my skills. Like I knew that I was a good problem solver, and I also knew I had a lot of soft skills that the quote-unquote typical engineer didn't quite have. So that was a big motivator for me as well.
For me, I always really liked math and sciences. Those were areas that I was always interested in. And I used to, back in high school, I used to work on my car a lot. I used to go to the junkyard, and I had like an old little Honda Civic, like a 1998 Honda Civic, that there was tons of them in the junkyard. So I would go and I'd like learn there at the junkyard, right? Just go find another Honda Civic like mine, try to take the piece off, right, and try to fit it on my car, or something would happen to my car, and I'd have to, make sure to fix it up and go to the junkyard. So that's where I initially thought about engineering even as a career path. So I came into Santa Clara actually as a mechanical engineer. And I had a chance. One of the things that brought me, or made me intrigued about Santa Clara, was that I was able to take multiple different classes in different degrees, right? So I was able to take a mechanical engineering class. I was able to take a computer engineering class and take those at the same time. When I was looking at my different school options, I was comparing Santa Clara University and UC San Diego, and UC San Diego had already accepted me as a mechanical engineer, and they told me it'd be very difficult for me to be able to switch over into computer science or computer engineering and try some of those classes, that there was already a wait list for the next people, and that it would, maybe I wouldn't be able to graduate in 4 years, maybe it'd take 5 or 6 years to graduate. And so that really turned me off, even though San Diego was beautiful and I was really convinced about San Diego. I went to Santa Clara, and just the opportunity to have more flexibility. And then I also wanted to do study abroad, right? And Santa Clara said, hey, you can do study abroad. You can still graduate in 4 years, You can go through this whole experience and get more dedicated, learning, right? Having smaller classes. Okay, UC San Diego would have been a class of hundreds, right? Rather than having a class of 30, right? Or even, 30, 40, 50 sometimes, right? And I've had a class even of 10 people here at Santa Clara, right? So having that really personal education was huge for me, and having flexibility. So it brought me over to that degree.
So why engineering? I remember I grew up not having a lot of peers, especially K through 8 years. What I did have was a neighbor who would come over and help my dad with computers and such electronics. Oh, VCR's stuck, let's fix it. You need a new hard drive because your computer crashed. Let's actually take it apart and go step by step. And then that eventually turned into me becoming the neighborhood computer repair dude. You got a broken iPhone screen, do you want your iPhone jailbroken, or you got a virus and you don't know why things keep popping up on your computer? I was that guy. I guess I had it ingrained from an early point in my life that okay, I can fix these things that people get confused with, and I actually enjoy it being a user. Let me continue down that route. I guess I went really far into computer engineering. I didn't really know how much I signed up for at the moment until actually getting to the program. Not really having formal programming experience, so there was a little jolt there. But why Santa Clara? I feel my best schooling years were in high school, socially. I think just the environment was very good because of whatever it was, this mix of people from all over coming in, and the Jesuit philosophy. So I'm okay, where can I find that in college? Santa Clara seemed like a good choice, but I was on the wait list. So then I ended up signing up for Northeastern, having all that ready, and then as soon as my wait list decision changed, I was I know I want to go to Santa Clara. I'm from LA, I can see my family relatively easily, and Silicon Valley, where else to study computing than the birthplace of a lot of innovation that we use today. Yeah. I want to start.
Okay. So how would you describe your experience at Santa Clara? What were your biggest surprises, your challenges, your successes, anything like that?
I think I kind of answered a little bit of this in my previous answer, but yeah, I think a big challenge was I wasn't very mathematically or in math or science very gifted. It was always kind of pushing against a stream sometimes, trying to get these concepts in. But like I said, there were support groups. Certain teachers were cooler than others. Going into office hours was more natural than I would think. This guy and other people in my classes, it was easy to create that support group, and then grow that. And when we went to SHPE, and had these even broader groups NSBE and SWE, and see other people going through the struggle, and helping each other out. I think that was huge in the Santa Clara experience. So really like building a community and like being a part of it, and you get in what you get out what you put into it. So yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, Santa Clara was a really good, positive experience at the end, but definitely some ups and downs, right? Like, I think going through, 4 years at a place, and for like 5, I guess, since I did the master's, right? Like, it's a lot of time, right? Maybe you have moments where you're feeling really good. Like, there's moments when you're killing it in class, and you're getting all the grades, and you're, doing everything, right? So I definitely had moments like that where things were going great, and I was getting everything that I was going out for. But there's definitely moments, too, that I think are important to share where things weren't all going great, right? Things were tough. Things were, get a bad grade on a class, especially those physics classes, right? I remember going into one of those physics exams and leaving that physics exam like, oh my God, like I had no way I got it over 60% on that test, right? And then you go back and hear everybody else also kind of struggled together, right? But like little things like that. There's going to be ups and downs. Don't think it's going to be all ups the entire time, or see somebody like us up here and think we had a full, amazing experience all the way through. There's good times, for sure, but there's also bad times, right? But I think the important lesson there is that even through some of those bad times, right, it was kind of seeing that things were going to come up and down, withstanding those times, learning from what maybe something you did wrong, if you didn't study enough, right, if you didn't put the right time into something, right, seeing those consequences and learning from those and coming back around and making a difference for yourself. So definitely ups and downs in my experience. Having those support groups, like Cesar was saying, having friend groups, right, having those academic and professional groups like SHPE, SWE, NSBE, right, having those places where you can find other people going through the same things you are and supporting each other. That's so big, and that helped me get through my experience. And it ends up helping you later in life, too. You end up making some of your closest friends here at Santa Clara. I met my wife at Santa Clara today, right? So lots of things like that you'll end up finding people that make an impact for the rest of your life, and open up doors for career, right, for your own other opportunities, for for your love life, for your friends. So lots of different things can happen in Santa Clara. So definitely a positive experience for me, but definitely ups and downs. And take advantage of the experience. It goes by quick.
Let's see. I guess for me, coming to Santa Clara, I was already had done some college. I was coming in as a transfer student, but I guess the biggest shock for me was it's really more comparing it to community college, where community college, it's like more public access. You have a much bigger variety of people in terms of age and background. You have people who might already have a degree just kind of studying something different or taking night classes, and then you have someone fresh out of high school. Where at Santa Clara, it's a little more homogenous in terms of the type of students and age groups and stuff like that. So for me, the culture shock was kind of like being the older person in class. Also, I think, especially I think for me in engineering, the year I graduated, I think I was I found out really my senior year, kind of looking around and who was doing senior design with me, and found out I was really the only black person in my major that was going to be graduating that year. So I think for me, so now kind of seeing, talking to people in NSBE, seeing the chapter grow and thrive, that's being awesome. It's kind of definitely a sign of better things to come for the university going forward.
So I think you might have briefly touched on this, but what or who were your biggest support systems over that time?
Yeah, biggest support system. Well, first coming into the school was the LEAD program. I'm a first-gen college student as well, so I'm also wearing a LEAD shirt as well. LEAD was a great at at least getting me acclimated to the school. And Erin, who's the director at LEAD, is one of my favorite people on the planet in general. So she's awesome. Other than that, I had some good advisors and good classmates and everything like that as well. I also worked on campus while going to school here. So honestly, the supervisor I had, Wilfredo, in the network engineering department, was I was so broke going to college, and he paid for so many of my meals. It was just stuff like that, stuff that's oh man, I cannot, he will never accept any aid for me going forward. So it's up to me to really pay it forward and kind of and kind of be that sort of person. That was a big part in senior year, mentoring other students and making sure that, I was tutoring or helping people wherever I can, because, a lot of the help I got, I wasn't, they're not going to need that same help back. So what else can I do? Who's the next me that needs that sort of help, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think finding different resources on campus, right? There's so many different resources, different types of people, and it comes from even the students, having your friend group. So that was a big part of it too, finding like that friend group that, that I could, count on and open up to. But then it goes up to even, different professors. One of the professors, Professor Figuera, I think she's still here. She was one of my favorite teachers. So I had her for COEN 10, so my first introduction to computer science, right? And computer engineering. And so that was somebody that I was able to struggle with, to go through the ups and downs and try to figure it out, but somebody who always had my back. And always, that's somebody who always supported me. So that was huge for me. Finding those professors that you can kind of open up a little bit more. I know it's hard. It's not going to happen with every professor, but there's sometimes those professors you just make a connection with, right, that will help you out through those tough times. So that was a big part of it. Also just SHPE. So for me, the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, right, when I joined Santa Clara as a freshman, it was pretty small, right? There wasn't that many people. It was one of the SHPE winters, you could call it, right? Where there was maybe like 5 people at a meeting if you were lucky. But that's where I started going to those meetings, finding those people. And there was the current presidents at that time. One of them was a mechanical engineer. And I was still trying to figure out if I wanted to be a computer engineer, mechanical engineer. And he was somebody I talked to, right? And he was making the same decision back in the day when he was a freshman. And he opened up to me like, hey, when I go to SHPE conferences and I look for jobs and opportunities, I kind of wish I was a computer science or computer engineering major, because all those people were getting opportunities and were getting interviews and really cool jobs. So he shared his experience from his point of view of he actually would have chosen computer science back in the day, right, or computer engineering, if he could go back, right? And that was just his experience, right, not for everybody, but him opening up to me like that and giving me his experience gave me insight that I wouldn't have as a little baby freshman coming in, learning, trying to figure it out on my own. So finding those people, finding older people, even a couple years older than you, that have gone through some things that you're going through and can help pointing out things, can give you support, can help you kind of almost cheat on the test in a way, right? To kind of know where to go, learn from their experiences so you don't have to go through them yourself. That was huge, and having those support groups. So that's why I think having, SHPE, SWE, and NSBE, and having those type of groups is so important to be able to, give back to those younger people who are coming in and don't know exactly where to go or need that extra support. And you've all learned it, right? All the seniors here, right? You guys have gone through so many experiences. You can give back so much to those people who are just coming in. And that's something that I learned, gave me an opportunity to be a leader, help me help others, and it's grown from there on, right? And I think you keep on giving back as you even get older and you leave Santa Clara, as we are today.
The generational sharing of knowledge has been great. Even like when we were in undergrad, seeing speakers come in, like people, I guess like what we are to you now. We'd like hit them up after one of these sessions and just like talk. And like to this day, just name it like Daniel from SHPE, this guy, Hector, like so many people ahead of us, like to this day we still connect. So yeah, not to drone too much on that.
I might start a business one day with one of them.
I might, yeah. Story for another day. But I will so yeah, SHPE was like my main support group in terms of my career, but I did want to touch upon just like you need the support systems for other things you want to do, like you're not just your career. So for me, that was art. And every chance I could get in my schedule, I would either like TA or take a photo class. And so there are people at the art building that to me are also support, even though they have nothing to do with my engineering life. They help me express myself in the way I want and provide like critiques and like this little community of fellow artists that just want to make stuff. So whatever that may be for you, your extra interest, taking a little bit of effort to lean into it more instead of just saying like, oh, I don't have time, you'll find some support systems there too. Yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
All right. How, if at all, would you say your cultural identity played a role in your upbringing and decisions?
Sorry, can you repeat the first part again?
How, if at all, would you say your cultural identity played a role in your upbringing and decisions?
Yeah, okay. Cultural. I grew up pretty conservatively in terms of, like, I didn't get out much. Like, I was always trapped in the house. I guess, like, first generation parents just want to be protective, right? And I guess before my adult life really started, I was scared of, like, taking chances to do something of, like, high visibility, or, like, speak in front of a group, or just little things like that, or even just pursue exactly what you want. Instead, I would take, like, the practical route, like, okay, if I can't afford college, maybe I should do these things, these odd jobs instead. But I guess, like, high school and college have brought that empowerment of you only have so much time in this world. You should actually pursue what the craziest ideas you might have for yourself, and see where you end up. Shoot for the stars. And what is the saying? Shoot for the moon, end up in the stars. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, my cultural identity was my superpower. I really felt like it. Those lessons that my family, right, like my family members being from Mexico, right, like coming from that country, and some of those just cultural, characteristics almost, just like family being such an important part of my upbringing, right. Being open and can communicate with others, connecting with people, like sharing just like love for other people, right? Like, I don't know, there was just that feeling that came from my family. I really tried to embody that in who I was as a person, even when I was speaking English and in class with, random people. And so that really became a superpower for me, right? It helped me be able to connect to so many different people, make so many different friends here at Santa Clara. And you'll see that as you guys get older, right, and people start graduating and starting companies and doing different things all over the world, like, it's pretty impressive, like, who's actually at Santa Clara when you're at Santa Clara. There's some amazing people who are going to do incredible things that you didn't even know that was just somebody in your class that you maybe talked to a couple times. You never really know who's around you and how the things they're going to do, right? So, but just by connecting with others, you end up creating a web of just some different people that and different connections, the people who know who you are, how genuine you are, right? So I felt for me like my cultural identity really gave me an ability to connect with others, and then going out into even on LinkedIn, right, and like cold emailing people or cold LinkedIning people, right, and just like talking about who I was and trying to find other people who came from a similar background. That opened up doors for me, right, and so I try to use it as a way to help me connect with others, and then also help spread what I represent as an immigrant, right, as a child of an immigrant, and what that represents, and how I can help the community, how I can help the society, I can help the United States, right, and change how people think about immigrants, right. All those different things were all things that help give me fire, right, and help me go out into the world and make a difference. So I use it as a superpower, and I feel like each person from your different background that you have, you can use that as your own superpower to connect with others and to help educate others as well.
Yeah, in terms of my cultural identity, it's I'm actually I'm mixed, first off, so I'm half black, half Filipino. I always remind people that I'm black and Filipino, not black or Filipino. It's not like I'm only selecting one for certain situations. I have to kind of embody all of that and stuff like that. So, like, as much as I am, a black person who was entering a field that highly underrepresented and stuff like that, I'm also a Filipino pioneer as well, so I have to kind of remember that, yeah, again, it's like he was saying, it's a superpower, and like maybe I have two powers that kind of overlap where they meet me, stuff like that. So, yeah, for me, it's, a lot of my culture is about like, trying to make sure, you're working hard, and family is important and everything like that. So a lot of what I was doing through school was to make sure I was able to putting myself in a position where I can help family. Just for me, it's like, it was great kind of seeing a lot of that hard work really pay off for me in the end, once I was able to go get accepted into grad school, continue going here for grad classes, having teachers recognize my work ethic and being willing to hire me as a TA and stuff like that. And which allowed me to really empower other students and stuff like that. For me, it was, I think, my culture initially was kind of like, growing up, I didn't really encounter any black engineers or anything like that. So I didn't really, in high school, really see that as a possibility. So for me, it was like, it's a really important thing to really make sure I'm visible and people like me are visible, because you don't become what you can't see, right?
Okay, so the last one is a two-part question. What do you wish that you, faculty administration, could have done differently? And then how can SCU better support underrepresented students in STEM moving forward?
Wow. How honest do you want me to be? Just kidding. Let's see. So what was the first part of the question again?
Yeah, so what do you wish that you, faculty or administration, could have done differently?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to like really pinpoint one thing. I think for me, coming in as a transfer student and kind of seeing the quote unquote need-based grant I was getting was kind of laughable. Like I really felt like I wasn't really getting a lot of aid or a lot of help or anything like that. So it was for me a huge risk to even decide to come to Santa Clara. I'm glad I did it, but it wasn't a simple path for me. I was someone who, I had so in addition to taking engineering classes, I was also, I had a weekend job. I worked 12-hour shifts on weekends as a dispatcher. And I also, again, worked on campus, and I had to somehow still find time to, complete my heavy workload for engineering classes. So, for me, it was just like, if there was a situation where I didn't need to do the extra weekend jobs and stuff like that, and was just able to only be a student and not really have to check off so many other additional boxes just to have that opportunity to take the class, that would have been a much bigger help towards just me being able to exist comfortably on campus. I still was able to make it, but it's one of those things where I wouldn't wish that on other people. If there's someone else I was mentoring that was in that same situation, yeah, I wouldn't know what to tell them, and I wouldn't know what to tell me, if I went back in time. So kind of, yeah, just having, at least for me personally, was some sort of financial help to try to do that. Fortunately, I was able to leave that weekend job for my senior year because of I'm a nonprofit organization called Elevate Tutoring, where they were able to give me a scholarship as long as I worked off that scholarship by tutoring. I'm now a board member for that nonprofit organization, so because it was such a big help for me being able to finish school senior year and be able to leave that weekend job, because there's no way I would have been able to do that weekend job and still do senior design work. So, yeah, I guess if their faculty understood that there's people that come from very different backgrounds, and they also deserve an opportunity to take advantage of what Santa Clara has to offer. That's what I would tell the faculty.
Yeah, I guess for me, during my time at Santa Clara, I wish we had Ricky. So actually, to give you guys a little perspective, I was on the diversity council at STEM, the STEM diversity council with a lot of the different professors. And I was part of the people who drafted up this big report about, hey, we need a diversity, leader, right? We need a diversity director within the STEM field, because we had one, outside of STEM. But they had so much on their plate already, right? There's so many other students, there's so many other schools, and STEM is such a unique area that can be so difficult for people that are coming into it fresh, brand new, not having any family or other people or mentors, right? So it's an area where I was seeing lots of my friends, my fellow, people in my class, the freshman year, were dropping out of engineering completely and going to the sciences and going to other schools because they didn't have the resources, they didn't have the support, they didn't feel like they could make it and actually go through it with it. So I saw people left and right dropping like flies. And that's where I became a part of this council. And luckily I had professors who were looking and say, hey, you could be a good member for it. And I was able to find that. And we really pushed for having somebody like Ricky. And I'm so happy that we have him and now you guys have him. And we have a new band in engineering. That was a big thing, another complaint that we had, right? Is that we didn't have a space. We didn't have a space for people to come together and help each other with homework and to help each other with those type of things. And get extra support from faculty about, hey, if you're thinking about PhDs or something, here are some resources, right? Or if you're thinking about what your next step after Santa Clara is. I felt like that was lacking, right? And something today, I think like an area that Santa Clara could probably get better in is just preparing people for the after Santa Clara life. I felt like it was very rushed. I was like doing senior design. I was trying to apply to jobs at the same time. I was trying to run SHIP. I was trying to do all these different things at the same time. And I burned out, to be honest. Like I fully burned out. And it was close. I almost didn't graduate, kind of burned out, right? But I made it at the end. But I felt like it was just a lot. And I wish I had more support from Santa Clara about preparing me for that next step. If it was a class, like a dedicated class where I was getting, maybe advice about how to find the next job, how to go to maybe do a doctorate or how to do a master's or, the options I had, right, where it could be dedicated time with support. That's an area I think could get even better.
It's a tough question. Something I thought about was, I hope this is Cohen specific, but I felt like most of the relevant, like industry relevant, even just beyond industry, just post-grad relevant skills you should have, like what you learn in senior design in terms of like project management and team dynamics. I felt like that was very rushed. Like if we had a taste of that sooner, that would have been great. A year sooner, 2 years sooner, that would have been great. This type of feedback is also not very clear how to give because it involves an entire curriculum, right? So maybe that, like providing an easy way for this type of feedback to come back and benefit you guys, because it feels like we just kind of graduated. Whatever qualms we had, we threw them in the trash at graduation and kept going on with our lives. So that might be something to think about. Other than that, really blessed by the characters that we were able to witness. There was one teacher, just one teacher that I encountered that was not very supportive. It was just like, oh, you're failing the class? Yeah, you have to take that again, instead of reaching out, right? That teacher isn't here anymore, but just to say, like, for the most part, they're real with you, and like that's something that we're blessed to see in a faculty, and I hope that continues.
All right, thank you all for such a meaningful conversation. Would you each like to give a closing statement before we conclude?
Yeah, don't hesitate to chat with us after this. Never know.
I guess for me, I think how I kind of started my conversation, right? There's going to be ups and downs through college. Don't get too discouraged on those downs. Just kind of, learn from it, keep on moving forward. Even when you graduate, right? Like I was seeing some of my friends graduating, going to Google, going to Microsoft, going to all these big companies. And honestly, I got a little depressed. Like you kind of feel sad if you don't get those same opportunities, right? But what I learned in the end, like I didn't have those same opportunities, right? I found an opportunity. I ended up working at Accenture, which is still a really good opportunity, but it wasn't maybe these big ones that I was trying to go for, right? And you never know where your path is going to lead you. Like today, I'm at Google now, right, where I was able to kind of make that path back to what I thought was going to be the best thing in the world. And then when you're there, you learn that it's maybe not the best thing in the world too. There's goods and bads and everything, right? You get more perspective, right? So like, don't get so down on yourself if you see everybody else getting what you think you would be the perfect thing for you, right? A lot of the times, that thing is not the perfect thing for you, right? A lot of times, you need to go through the hard path. That hard path is going to allow you to propel even further and find what you really want for yourself. So don't get too down. Always be positive. Stay positive. Move forward. Connect with people. Look, find people. Connect with us, right? Connect with people that are out there that can help you. And keep on keeping moving forward. And if you don't get your perfect opportunity right off the bat, it's okay. keep on looking, keep going, moving forward. Because even right now, like there's a lot of layoffs happening within this, the tech space. Even if you get laid off, like my fiance got laid off, right? So she had to be able to, scramble and find the next opportunity. And there's another opportunity around the corner, right? So don't get too discouraged. There are opportunities out there. You just got to go look. Apply like crazy. Use your connections, right? Use your superpower, right? Find those people that you can connect with. And a lot of times, those people you know are the people who can end up opening those doors for you. So use those people you know.
Yeah, I guess the final word for me is, like as you're finishing college, you go into the working world. I think a mistake a lot of people make is they, because all they've done is go to school and sleep, and everything like that while trying to finish school and everything like that. So they almost treat work the same way. They just work and don't do much outside of work. And they find that it's like they're looking through their job to find their own purpose, which isn't exactly the right thing to do. Like your work's going to give you part of your purpose, but it's not going to be everything. And you're going to be able to find your purpose through things you're going to do outside of work as well. So, it's kind of a lot to carry onto, not only your own shoulders, but your work shoulders, kind of like find your purpose. You should definitely make sure your purpose is as multifaceted as you are, because you're more than, right now you're more than just a student, you're more than just a GPA. You're also, you also have hobbies, you have family, you have other people who care about you, you have so many other things that you have to offer, and it's more than just, your resume, your job title, wherever you work, wherever you went to school, whatever your GPA is. You're more than just that one-page resume that that you're being asked to make for your job. There's so much more to you than that you have to offer. No matter what, never forget that.
All right, I don't want to take up any more of anyone's time, but I just want to thank you all again for just taking time out of your busy schedules to come join us. I know we all learned a lot from you, so thank you so much. And thank you all for coming. Thank you especially to Ricky for and I hope you all have a good night.